What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Armaret, and I decided today, because I have played so much Crysis 3 open beta, to give you a review on impressions of the beta and of the game that I've seen so far, which is all multiplayer based, and whether or not I think, based off this beta, this game is for you. So I will start this off by saying that if you are a Crysis fan, then this game is going to be for you. So let you skip the whole video. Bam! If you like the series, this one is a must-buy. As for everybody else who's on the fence, this review is for you. For me, I approached Crysis 3 as trying to find an online first-person shooter to take the place of Call of Duty, or at least to give me something else in that genre to play online. So that's from the direction that I was approaching it. So the real question is, what is Crysis 3? And the best way that I can describe Crysis 3 is a mixture between Call of Duty, Battlefield, and Halo. And in the Call of Duty world, it gives you the customizable loadout, whether it be with camos, extra attachments, perks, abilities. It gives you that. It also gives you score streaks and death streaks. Unlike though Call of Duty, when you kill somebody, it doesn't automatically go towards your kill streak. You have to go and pick up the dog tag. So at 3 dog tags, you get what would be, they call a maximum radar. It's the same thing as a UAV in Call of Duty, but you have to pick up 3 dog tags to do it, not just kill 3 people. And then after you die a lot, it gives you additional armor. So after 3 deaths, gives you extra armor. After 4 deaths, it gives you even more. After, it's almost like a painkiller already, or painkiller, I mean. They offer you that. In the Battlefield side, it brings in the parkour elements that was Battlefield. So if you remember, if you're ever running and you hit a barricade, you can just hop on over it and keep on running without missing a beat. Or if you want to see the top of a ledge and you want to jump on top of it, you can run, jump, you grab a hold of the ledge, you pull yourself up, and you can keep on running. It's really nice. It keeps the game fast-paced and action-oriented. And they also have vehicles in the game. So you have like these big, monstrous, tripod-looking mechanized robots. I forget the name of them, but it's right here in front of you. You can hop into these things, and then I go to town in this map, which is why I chose this one. But it offers another cool way to help traverse the map that's not just running around. It is a vehicle. And then it is like Halo in the sense that you have the ability to armor lock into go camo and to pick up power weapons around the map. So there are power weapons hidden. So if you were to take all of these experiences, you know, the perks, the loadouts, the score streaks and death streaks from Call of Duty, the parkour and vehicles from Battlefield, and the power-ups such as armor lock, camo, and power weapons on the map, and throw them together, mix it up and throw it out, you get Crysis 3. So the question is, you know, well, how does it play then? Because you have all these different elements. So it's standard shooter or fail on the controls. You know, left trigger aim, right trigger fire, left bumper armor lock, right bumper camouflage. A button is to jump. You know, indenting the left stick is to sprint. Right stick is the melee. Of course, they do offer a multitude of different ways to customize. I just usually go with what would be almost like the standard Call of Duty layout, although if you want to throw a grenade, you have to hit right on the D-pad, which pours your grenade out, and then you can throw it. So it's not just a singular button for that, which is a little bit weird and takes a little bit getting used to, but at the end of the day, it's not so bad. So if we then look at, well, then what are the game mechanics? And I played both versions that they had here. So they had what would be like the equivalent of a headquarters, a pod drops, or a hard point maybe. Actually, hard point's probably a better one, because once you die you can always respawn. They drop a pod down, and the goal is to occupy that space for as long as you can and then leave. Although I do like one thing that they did is once the time for that pod to transfer locations, it says danger, explosion, and the pod will actually blow up. So if you're actually still in that area, it can kill you, which is a really nice touch. And then they had the standard TDM affair in the beta as well. I'm almost 100% positive there's going to be more than just those two types of game modes in the final. but both of them are always nice to have. I will say something about the mechanic. The armor lock and the camouflage, both of them run off an energy gauge. And if you look in the top right hand corner of your screen, you have a health and then you have energy. And every time you go into camo, every time you use your armor, it uses up and you can't actually run out. And it adds this rather interesting dynamic between how much you want to use them. Because if you get caught in a battle with pretty much no energy, you'll get killed much quicker than pretty much because you have no armor left. But yet at the same time, you can also use that stealth element to your advantage to sneak up on people and kill people, and you don't really need the ammo. So the real trick when you play this game is going to be how do you manage that energy level. And they do offer perks such as auto armor, in which the moment you get shot, it'll bring up your armor and you don't have to worry about it so much, which is kind of nice, because that pretty much takes one entire button out of the game. But I'm still on the fence with whether or not I like this mechanic. I mean, I understand the mechanic, because if you do not have it, essentially what you'll have is a bunch of people running around invisible the whole time, and by using this energy mechanic you can actually stop that from happening. But at the same time, it can get a little frustrating, I guess, until you get used to it, because you'll find yourself running around the corner and putting in a ton of bullets on somebody and them dropping you first just because they have more energy. And I think that brings me to probably one of my first, it's not really gripe per se, but it's maybe displeasures, is that it takes so many bullets to drop an enemy in this game. I enjoy fast-paced, you know, if I see somebody, I put bullets on when they drop. And that was one of the things that Halo brings to the table, is they try to make it more skill-based, you know, such that if you have the BR and it was four hits, you know, boom, 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 you could drop them. And it really adds more to that gun skill than just running and just spraying. And this one, I find that in order to compensate for the ability to run and gun and to kind of assist some of the people who may not have the skill, they just give way too much health. So you have a ton of health, a ton of armor, and the guns don't do that much damage, such that you could sit there and empty an entire clip on a person and the person still not die if they sit there and hold off on using the armor, then throw the armor on, and then, you know, it picks them up a little. It can just get frustrating, is my point. But you know, that is one of the things. Although to their credit though, even though it takes a ton of bullets to drop somebody, the game still does feel fast paced. So you know, you kind of take that as it is. The one thing though, and I'm hoping that they fix this by the time the game does come out, is I was having a ton of server issues. The game was constantly migrating hosts, constantly dropping itself. But I'm thinking that was the point of the beta. The point of the beta was to do a stress test on those servers to see if they could even handle it day one. And if they're listening, you got a ton of work to do, because it wasn't as fluid as it should have been. But I digress to the overall review of this game. Now if we move on to maps and graphics. The graphics on this game are absolutely beautiful. The amount of detail that they have put into every single nook and cranny of this map, between airport and museum, which are the two that you have. Airport, it's pretty much, well, it's as the game sounds, it's an airport with an airplane that's been destroyed, overgrown with grass. But on that level, they go so far as to even put little, like, clear plastic flaps that you can hide behind and walk through, which is an awesome touch in this one. Each blade of grass kind of pops and sings, and the ability to pick up cars and throw them, or to pick up, you know, a pole out of the ground and use it almost like the hammer from Halo. Really cool. It's a nice touch. Although I have to say, the color palette is Halo with a kiss of Call of Duty. So Call of Duty uses more of the darker, you know, muted color palette. Battlefield uses more of a realistic, gritty sort of environment. Halo uses these sci-fi, bright poppy colors, futuristic sort of atmosphere. So when I look at the maps, I see this mix of you know, bright poppy, sci-fi Halo-esque color scheme and layout, mixed with the map design of like a Call of Duty. So it's weird, but it works very nice because there's multiple ways to get around. As you can see here, if I gotta get from point A to point B, actually I missed the jump, but instead of walking all the way around the map or coming up to the stairs, I can actually traverse over the top of the map via branches and kind of surprise enemies. And at the same time, as well as there is so many different branches, you never feel like you're being ambushed all the time. You feel like you can actually get map control and figure out where things are going on. So I guess with all those things, you got the gameplay, the graphics, the sound is amazing, the loadouts. Do I recommend this game? And I would give at least the beta probably a 3.5, 4 out of 5. But more importantly, it's if you can only get a certain number of games a year, is this one of them? And for that end, I struggle to say yes, just because you do have Dead Space 3, which I have a Let's Play on my channel that I'm absolutely in love with. You do have the new Tomb Raider game, which looks amazing. You do have the new Grand Theft Auto game coming out. You do have The Walking Dead, which if you have not played it, I'm not sure it's a must play, it's a must pick up. You know, you have a ton of great games out there right now. So is this a must pick up? If you're a first-person shooter fan and you're looking for something else other than Call of Duty, I say yes. If you're a Crysis fan, I say a yes. If you're somebody else who casually plays online shooters, but it's really not your bread and butter, I'm gonna say no. There's better games to spend your money on this year. Unfortunately, I will say this game is it is probably a pass if you're in that arena. But put your what you think about the beta in the comments below, and thank you so much and have a good one.